Hello and welcome to Steve's Retro Loft. Today it's a special treat for you. Rather than one package, I'm going to look at two. So yeah, let's have a look. It's Collector's Pack and Club Record Controller. Yeah, different titles, or are they sort of joined at the hip? Yeah, they're pretty much the same thing, but let's have a look. I'm cheating a little bit today. I've actually downloaded the TZX files rather than load them up off a cassette. Basically because I have a sealed Collector's Pack, obviously currently valued at around about £1, so I don't want to obviously devalue it by breaking the seal. Both titles are made by ICL, and there's a very familiar look to both of them when you go into them. We'll also have a look at the limitations of the 48K Spectrum. Obviously, the Next has got 2 gig, I believe, memory, but obviously these titles were written for the 48K Spectrum. So yeah, how many records can you store in them? Not many is the answer, but we'll take a closer look in a minute. Obviously, after the program is loaded, you're presented with this nice bright screen. Now, the inlay for Club Record Controller actually says 300 club members, and obviously once you actually load the program, it says 250. So we're already into sort of chopping and changing the limitations. Now, it is sort of a database, so your name can have 20 characters, your address with 5 lines each can be up to 20 characters again, a telephone number of 20 characters, that's a seriously long number, possibly even international, and there's up to 9 lots of information of your choice, up to 12 characters each. Now, if you do the maths, that's quite a lot, so, but also there's a limitation. The address and name and address, is limited to 70 characters. So potentially you can have 120 characters, but there's a limit of 70. So you've already lost 50 characters from there. So then there's the telephone number of up to 20 characters and 9 fields of 12. So we're talking 108 plus 70 plus 20. Now if you times that by 250, that'll come to around about 49,500. Obviously the Sinclair Spectrum has only got 48K, so yeah, for example, the program probably takes up maybe 16K at the most. I mean, probably being over generous once you see the program, so that knocks it down to 32K, and there's 6K of screen memory, so you're probably looking, realistically speaking, to have around about 26K of memory available for the database. Yeah, it's not a lot. And I think if you divide that by 250, on average, that gives you around about 104 characters per entry. So let's have a look. So basically, I think the initial bit is setting up the database. I don't want sound because it's just a beep. So it goes on to there explain, obviously the field, the number of and size of the optional features, affect how many records can be kept. So you have up to 9. Okay, let's add 2 additional fields. Are you happy with this? Yeah, I'm happy with that. So name. Oops. Inside leg. It's a strange, obviously, club that I'm a member of. We need to know your proper name and your inside leg measurement for no reason whatsoever. So, enter the length of each one. So, name, so 12, inside leg. We can be generous and say it's in centimetres, so we'll go for 5. Sort by members' names. Yep, I think once you've set up the database, that's it. You can't go back to change it. So add new members' details. So name Dave. Inside leg 48 centimeters. No, 78 centimeters. So there you go. That's Club Record Controller. Yeah, and obviously there's Dave and his inside leg measurements. I don't know why I've chose Dave. I used to watch the Dave TV channel for the many endless repeats of QI. That's possibly why. Now we've looked at Club Record Controller, we can take a look at Collector's Pack to see how different it is. As you can see, the loading screen for Collector's Pack is pretty much the same as Club Record Controller. Would be nice if there was a title there, but I'm guessing ICL were probably pushed for time and delivery to get this package out in 1982. They are strange titles, but I guess Sinclair wasn't a big fan of games, or Sir Clive Sinclair wasn't a big fan of games in general. I think he wanted to use the tool as an educational tool, and also to get more people buying computers. It probably appealed to different people, or adults or whatever. Say, if you run a club, you can put your club details on this computer. I think we forget how ubiquitous computers are for us these days. If we want to do something quickly, we could just knock up an Excel spreadsheet, or whatever package you use. But back in the days, you had no other option than the paper-based system or this newfangled computer. Anyway, let's have a look at the collector's pack. Now, as you can see, it's very similar. Obviously, the fields and the amount of records on this one is slightly different. 600 records up to 9 fields. So we'll quickly go through them. And I'll turn the sound off because the sound was quite annoying. As you can see, this is an example of, items you have in there. I mean, I just toyed with the idea of putting all my Spectrum games on the database, but then you are limited in terms of obviously things like description field, and obviously some of the names. So, but yeah, we'll have a quick look and see what it does. See how viable it is. You can have up to 9. I'll just stick to 4, to be honest. So game. Oops. I think I might have broken it. Let's have a look. Oops. Yeah, I think this is sometimes the problem with some of these games written in BASIC. It tends to, Right, after a little bit of fiddling and taking it out of a extended mode or graphical mode, see if it works this time. It worked. So the issue you have, obviously, this one is each field can have a maximum character length of 30 characters, but obviously the total length for all the fields can't exceed 50. So the game, obviously some have long titles, so it's always a bit of a tricky one. I'll say 15. It's not a very long vendor again. 15. Game type 10, and value is another 10. Possibly go for that. Are you happy with that? Yeah. So I should be able to get 600 records on that. So 50 characters, 600. So that's 50 times 600. That's 30,000. So yeah, I think my maths I did earlier was probably roughly about right for that. So continue with that. Let's add a record. I'm looking at the obviously prices on eBay. So £4,000. So I can exit out of that. I can list records. List all records because I've only got one. Yeah. Which one do you want? Oh, selected fields. Yeah. So there's the list complete. There are other options on it. You can print and you can do other things with it. You can probably delete them or list them or stop or save the file. One thing I did note with the Club Record Controller is the inlay would tell you to have odd records on one side of the tape and even records on the other side, which I found was a bit weird. But obviously it was trying to work around the limitation of the Spectrum. So there you go. That was the Club Record Controller and Collector's Pack. Obviously 2 titles that you probably haven't seen too often, and now you've seen them, you can now appreciate how good databases are these days. So that was the Club Record Controller and Collector's Pack. Yep, both interesting little database programs which showed what a Spectrum could do, but also showed the limitations of only having 48K. Yeah, as I guess you sort of appreciate what you can do these days on a sort of modern technology, and let's face it, one entry on one Excel spreadsheet probably creates a bigger file than what these could do with 100 or 150 entries. Anyway, I've got quite a lot of educational titles and other different types of games. There's a few more of the big box ones I want to go through. I've not got them out of the other part of the loft yet. That's too much effort at this moment in time, but yeah, I'll get round to doing them because I think I've got 2 or 3 big boxes there to look at, and hopefully if people keep watching, I'll keep producing them, and if you like them, let me know. If you don't like them, likewise let me know, and if you want to leave a comment and subscribe, that'd be even better, and if you click the bell icon, that's entirely up to you. It's just I'll annoy you every week with my updates. Anyway, until next time, because I've started rambling, I'll see you again soon. Bye-bye.